Hello, wonderful universe. It's Jennifer here at Eureka Astrology and Healing, and today I'm going to talk to you about St. John's Wort. And this is a very tiny first-year St. John's Wort. I looked my yard over, and several of the ones that I've had did not come back this year. And so I point that out, just a little bit note to get to know the plant. It is a perennial, but often in its first year, like most perennials, it will not flower, so this plant won't flower. But I've also noticed that it is not a long-term perennial, meaning many, many years. In my earlier videos, I did one on wood betony, blue vervain. They seem to come back for several years, if not even, a decade. Whereas St. John's Wort will come back like 3 years, maybe total, 3 or 4. So it's not as long-lived perennial as others. It likes full sun. We are in high noon here, and we are in full sun. And it is still surviving and happy where other plants are beginning to wilt. And its Latin name is Hypericum perforatum. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about its lore, and then this is the first video, and like I said, this is its baby, or the youngling, and then in the mid-summer we'll introduce the plant before it flowers, and we'll talk about its medicinal uses, and then we'll do a final video talking about its magical uses, and they'll all interweave. All these videos you'll see as I do the second ones and then the third for each plant is that there will be repetition, repeating, or going back to either the lore being formed from the medicine, or just like watching the plant grow and seeing what it does. All right, so other names for St. John's Wort, I've heard it also called St. Joan's Wort, in honor of both masculine and feminine, goatweed, amber, scaredevil, Solstice, and John's Wort. The Welsh once called this herb the leaf of the blessed and considered it the perfect balance of the elements of fire and water, and was considered to have a perfect healing essence. Many people know this plant throughout the world or in the country because there's some science behind it being used for depression, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next video. You'll see there's actually some signatures or doctrines of signatures that indicate that. It was also known in Brittany, it was a very revered plant and was harvested with deep respect. And it was actually said that it symbolized dismemberment of their summer lord or god, and it was actually celebrated on the solstice, and would be harvested during the summer solstice. And it said when the medicine was made from these plants and administered to the sick, it would help people remember the god or goddess in them, and then they'd feel whole and not scattered. And so, when you think about depression, sometimes we may feel scattered or not so whole. And so, in essence, really, some of this lore is hearkening to helping us feel more complete. We always are, but it reminds us that we are complete. And so, like I said, that symbolization of the body of the god or goddess coming back into you, feeling your divinity. And like I said, largely for depressions. And so they didn't consider it depression back many hundred years ago. It was considered melancholia, and was often considered evil spirits or evil energies. And so this plant was and still is heavily used to drive away evil spirits. Now, what that means, it could be depression, or it could actually be energetic beings. So that was another lore that has endured to this day. And one of the interesting things that I found out is that at one time it was forced into the mouth of witches to force them to confess. So it's clear that many associate this plant with really positive attributes, or bringing things to light. And this plant really does let the light in. Right now you can't see it, but the leaves are so tiny, but if you zoom in really close, there are tiny little holes, and I'm not sure if you can see them, probably not right now, but there's tiny little holes all throughout the leaves, and it's to actually let the light in. And that's just a little bit of the lore of this wonderful plant, and it has so much wonderful healing wisdom for us all. And just to show you, so as I've been doing these videos, it was freezing cold, and unreasonably freezing cold, and now it is like 94. Within a week it went from about 50 to 94, and my yard has exploded. And I just want to slowly pull the camera up and show you a little bit of the yard. It is growing, it is happy, it is healthy. There are plants growing many, many inches all day. And Let's see here. There's just so many beautiful plants. There's the violets in their full glory. So with that, that's St. John's Wort's first video. I'm Jennifer Helmet, Eureka Astrology and Healing. If you like what I'm doing, hit like, subscribe, check out my website and see my services. I do astrology consultations, wellness consultations. I also do speaking. With that, may the plants ground you and the stars guide you. Ciao for now.